Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast, brought to you by DirecTV, 1-800-259-7646. Also brought to you by RVRealtor.com. If you're buying an RV or selling an RV, check out RVRealtor.com and the Dollar Shave Club. Here's John and Heidi.
Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Friday. Hey, baby, how's it going over there?
Hey, good. How are you?
Very good. I'm excited. We got a fun guest coming up. J.A.Jance is our guest. J.A. is a lady that has written a whole lot of books. If my math is correct on here, it's somewhere around 51 novels. That's a lot of books.
Wow, that is.
And I've got a copy of her book here. It's called Dance of the Bones, and I don't get to read it because Heidi says she's reading it. So I'm excited to chat with J.A. We're actually from the same state. She was born about maybe an hour from where I'm from. So excited to chat with her coming up here in a little bit. Also, did you know that on April 4th, 1974, John Mathis of Belgium pulled two New York Long Island Railroad passenger cars totaling 80 tons with a thick rope with nothing more than a small bit of rope attached to his teeth.
Oh.
Yeah, he pulled two railroad passenger cars, 80 tons total, with his teeth.
Ah.
You think you could do that?
No way.
That would not be fun. I can't even imagine. So
Makes
there you
my
go.
mouth hurt just thinking about it.
Yeah, mine too. So a little talent. I always like to give you a little, useless information to start things off. Coming up here in a bit, we got some really fun stories. They're all on the way on the John and Heidi Show.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Dollar Shave Club. Get razors for $1 a month plus a few bucks shipping, so you can enjoy fresh razors every month for as little as $3. Learn more at dollarshaveclub.com/radio.
A United Kingdom taxi driver has fitted a karaoke machine in the back seat of his taxi cab, Heidi.
You would love that.
Oh, that would be so fun. Kevin Jackson says the idea started off as a joke, but now his customers just can't get enough. Passengers can choose from more than 200 songs, and the words appear on a mini television screen in the back seat.
That'd be easy enough to do.
Oh, yeah. And this is a way that people are excited to ride in the karaoke cab. They want to ride, hey, I'm going to ride with him. So this guy is in the United Kingdom, Kevin Jackson. He came up with this brilliant little plan. Do you think that would be a draw for most, or do you think most people would be like, I don't want to ride in there?
Oh, I think most people would want to ride in there.
And here's why I think you're right. Because usually the reason people don't like karaoke is they don't like singing in front of a crowd. There's no crowd. It's just you and Kevin. So I'm saying, or you don't like karaoke because you're trying to enjoy your meal or your drinks, and you got some person yodeling in the corner. Hey, it's only you in the cab. So I think this is a winner of an idea.
Yeah, I think
it's great. As long as Kevin can handle it. All right, coming up, somebody's being rewarded not to die. Yeah, we'll tell you all about that coming your way in a bit.
This portion of the program is brought to you by RVRealtor.com. If you want to buy or sell an RV, go to RVRealtor.com. List your RV for free. Learn more at RVRealtor.com.
All right, it's true because you heard it on the radio. Take a listen to this. Ever heard of somebody being rewarded for not dying? Don't die.
I think everybody is rewarded for not dying, aren't you?
That's true. Yeah, very true. But Andrew Carter is rewarded a little more. He just received $3,200 from his insurance company. Why? Because he's alive. The insurance company's studies predicted that Andrew had zero chances of outliving the $1,000 life insurance policy that he bought 50 years ago. Well, they were wrong. Now he's 95 years old. Workers from Country Insurance and Financial Services made a special trip to deliver the check to his home. $3,200 was the face value of his original policy plus additions that he bought over the years. So way back in the day, he bought a $1,000 life insurance policy. Over the years, he's added some additions, so it's up to $3,200. They showed up. He's 95. They handed him a check and said, you know what? Thanks for not dying. We're going to give you the money anyway.
That's nice.
That's very cool. So $3,200 is not a lot, really.
Well, it's better than nothing.
I understand that, but I'm saying, doesn't a funeral cost more than that? Would it cost more than that?
Well, maybe way back when he bought it, a funeral was about that much.
Could be. So, interesting story. And like I said, he's being rewarded not to die. We just had a story like a week ago where we were talking about a city somewhere that made it illegal to die. Remember that?
Yeah. I can't remember where that was, though.
It was in a different country, in Belize or somewhere. The mayor said, hey, too many people are dying. Let's just outlaw that. That doesn't work. What is the penalty? It's a death penalty. If you die, we're going to kill you. Again. All right. Coming up, we have your brain on drugs. We've also got your moment of duh and your scoop of the day. And we've got a special guest on the program today as well. Going to be visiting with best-selling author J.A.Jance. And she's the author of a new book called Dance of the Bones. And we'll be chatting with her in a little while. And like I said, this dude here, we were just talking about, he's being rewarded for not dying. And you know it's true because you heard it on the radio.
The John and Heidi Show is brought to you in part by the Keystone Treatment Center.
This is your brain, and this is your brain on drugs. We share silly stories here on the program, but addiction is no joke. If you or someone you know suffers with an addiction to drugs or alcohol, make today the day you seek help.
Call toll-free 844-204-1055.
That's a toll-free number. Again?
844-204-1055.
And this is your brain on drugs. Mohammed Fazil Taki of Duluth, Georgia, pulled up to McDonald's. I'm going to just pretend like I got that name right. Pulled up to a McDonald's at Georgia at 4:30 in the morning, slurring his words, and asked the attendant if he could provide change for a $100 bill. That's when the clerk noticed an assault rifle.
Ooh.
The driver said that he was a police officer. The driver then passed out. The clerk called the real police. When the driver woke up, he was angry that he didn't get his change, and he drove off. Police found him in a parking lot nearby, half asleep. They found the rifle and some cocaine, by the way.
Oh, nice
and
combination.
Some marijuana and some additional ammo. Says anyone can get charged for drunk possession. Anyone can get charged for drunk driving. However, only a real genius can get charged with driving under the influence, possession of marijuana, possession of cocaine, impersonating an officer, carrying a concealed weapon, and
it
possession.
Doesn't sound like the weapon was concealed.
It was, and possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, all in the same night.
Okay, now
that's
that's where they got him there.
He had it.
But
if
it was in the car and the guy could see it through the drive-thru, it was not concealed.
Okay, but it wasn't like it was sitting out in plain sight. He had it like stuffed under his coat.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know if he was planning on robbing this place or what. But anyway, it wasn't a good night for that guy. We'll just say that. Because his brain was on drugs.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Keystone Treatment Center. Addiction is no laughing matter. Call Keystone Treatment Center toll-free at 1-844-204-1055.
Hey, we've got your moment of duh. And today's moment of duh contains three interesting elements, Heidi. A robber, a gold chain, and the Heimlich maneuver.
Okay.
Furio Romano snatched a gold chain from around a woman's neck, and he sprinted down the street. He didn't get very far, however. He stuffed the chain in his mouth as he ran because he thought, he'd hold it there. Well, when he took a deep breath, he sucked the necklace down his windpipe and fell, choking to the ground.
Goodness.
Luckily for him, police were close behind. They gave him the Heimlich maneuver. The Heimlich remover? No, that was a Heimlich maneuver before arresting him. So they got the... I wonder if she wanted it back. Like, here you go, ma'am. You can have this.
Yeah, there's your... Yeah.
Ew.
Well, we've been watching another show on TV, and this guy...
And here's the funny thing. Everybody
Heidi
else...
Klum's ring and swallowed it into his gut. I wouldn't have wanted it back.
On
I've been
America's
like,
Got
ugh.
Talent. And the crazy thing is, everybody else, they their names. The names of everybody. Drew Lynch. And
I just only know that guy's...
And Oz Perlman.
They only call the other guy the regurgitator.
Yeah, the professional regurgitator.
It's
I'm like, why wouldn't they say his
disgusting.
name? I'm like, that is so weird. But yeah, if you've watched America's Got Talent this season, there have been some interesting things on there. And the winner was announced. I haven't seen it yet, so don't tell me who it is. I have it on my DVR. I'm going to watch it today, so don't tell me who it is. I don't want you to call and spoil it. We've been busy, so we haven't had a chance to watch it. So I can't wait to find out. But we'll do that here in a bit. Also, on the way, we have your Scoop of the Day. That's coming up.
The Scoop of the Day is brought to you by Wells Blue Bunny. If you want delicious ice cream, be sure to look for the Blue Bunny. Sure to have your favorite flavors. Learn more at bluebunny.com.
Now, your Scoop of the Day. A Pennsylvania man has been arrested after he allegedly punched his older brother for eating 3 Big Macs and not saving one for him.
Oh.
So he punched him. So apparently that's illegal. Well, I'm glad I didn't know that when I was a kid.
Exactly.
I have brothers.
Heck, even our kids would be in jail.
Well, I don't think our kids have ever punched each other, have they?
Oh, they've hit each other.
Have they really?
All siblings do.
Yeah. Well, the wealthy son of a Swiss millionaire was sentenced to 2 years probation and a $33,000 fine after he torched his Ferrari 458 so he could use the insurance money to buy a new one.
That's a bad idea.
Yeah, so that's not a good plan. You want a new car? well, go get the
Go
new
buy
car.
a new car.
But he burned it, thinking, hey, now I'll
nice
use
try.
insurance money. So he got 2 years probation, didn't get jail time, and a $33,000 fine for his insurance fraud.
$33,000.
His dad's a millionaire, so I'm sure that's going to be just fine. Not only are Americans not using all their vacation time, they're not doing much relaxing during the time they do take off. This is from a new study of 1,000 adults from Princess Cruises, by the way, if you're wondering who did this. A majority of Americans spend vacation days dealing with what, Heidi?
Work, from being gone from work.
Yes, they spend most of their vacation time dealing with various errands at home, and many of them feel guilty about relaxing because they're like, oh, I've got so much to do. I can't really sit down. I got the garage to clean. At least that's what I have to do. That's why I'm not taking time to relax.
But even when we're on vacation, like when we leave, when we're away on vacation, we're working the whole week.
That's the way it works.
Yeah.
Hey, a new study from the University of Illinois reveals that 9 and 10-year-old children who are aerobically fit tend to have significantly thinner gray matter. Thinning of our outermost layer of brain cells in the cerebrium is associated with better math performance. Wow, I got a headache reading that sentence. Hope I got most of it right. So what they're saying is...
Being thin makes you smart, or does it make you stupid?
No, it makes you smarter. So they're saying if they get a good aerobic workout, they're aerobically fit, meaning they breathe properly and they get, that aerobic workout for their heart. Not necessarily about lifting stuff, but it's about, aerobically working out. That's good for your brain. So here's the other thing you could do, whether you're 9 and 10 or any age, just, get a brisk walk in once in a while.
There you go.
I always feel better when we do that. We should do that more.
I know, it's been a while again.
The Washington Post reports that the company that managed Hillary Clinton's private email server says that they don't know if the system was ever wiped of data, meaning that it's possible the emails deleted by the former secretary could be recovered. So
that would be amazing.
So they're working on that. I'm sure they're working around the clock on that.
I'm sure they are.
To get, it's interesting how that whole thing, and I don't know what happened. It's none of my business what they did there, but I just think
it is your business because she's a public servant.
But that's where I just think it's really
so it's
sad.
Absolutely your business. That's why everybody has an issue with it.
That's where I think it's sad that that's even happened. That we're even in a position where that stuff is going on. Hey, a study commissioned by Zipcar. Have you ever heard of them?
No.
It's a car sharing service. I've never heard of this, but I think it's an interesting concept. It says millennials would be more devastated if they parted with their smartphone than if they had to get rid of their car. So they could get by with their smartphone less than they could get by without a car.
Like I think it depends on where you live.
Yeah.
I think around like the Midwest, if they would ask that question, they would get different answers because there's not a lot of mass transit.
So I got to walk to work?
Yeah.
Or at least if I got my smartphone, I could call a friend. Hey, what you doing? Want to drive me to work?
Well, their friend kept their smartphone too, so they also have no car.
A new study finds that breaking wind once... should I even read this?
Yes.
A new study finds that breaking wind while you're flying is healthy and recommended. According to a Danish gastroenterological survey, Jacob Rosenberg got the idea of studying flatulence from several passengers on a flight from Copenhagen to Tokyo. So I think what happened is this guy just had gas, and he's like, I'm doing a study. Excuse me, sir, would you please quit that? No, I'm doing a study, really. I'm a gastroenterologist or whatever I am. All right, let's get to our strange law here. In Dyersburg, Tennessee, it is illegal for a woman to call a man for a date.
Oh.
It's illegal in Dyersburg, Tennessee, for a woman to call a man for a date.
They probably don't really adhere to that anymore.
Well, you never know. It's the law. That's your strange law, and this has been your Scoop of the Day.
This portion of the program is brought to you by RoughToughKennels.com. Dog kennels and accessories sent to your front door wherever you live. Your dog deserves it. Learn more at RoughToughKennels.com.
Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Friday. Got a special guest joining us on the phone today. She's got a bunch of novels out. J.A. Jance, and she's got a new book called Dance of the Bones, and we're going to be visiting with J.A. Jance. J.A., thanks for joining us today. How you doing?
I'm fine. I'm coming to you from Phoenix, Arizona today.
Very cool. I bet it's a beautiful day. Isn't it always a beautiful day in Phoenix? Isn't that kind of the way it works?
It's pretty much always the way it works, yes. Even in the summer when it's blindingly hot, those summer rainstorms come driving up out of the desert, and it's still a beautiful day.
Well, we're going to be chatting with you about a new book. This is your 51st novel. Am I getting this correct?
Yeah, it's not bad for a girl who wasn't allowed in the creative writing program at the University of Arizona in 1964.
Yeah, that's really cool. You happen to be from the same state that I happen to be from. We're both from South Dakota, which is is a really cool thing. Where are you from in South Dakota?
I was born in Watertown, but my mother was from Summit, as Grandpa Anderson called it.
Oh, nice.
Family legend says that my father came to Summit courting my mother's younger sister, Tooth. And Grandpa Anderson told him, Norman, in this house, we eat the old bread first, which is how my dad ended up with my mother instead of my aunt.
Well, that works out. That is so funny. Well, we've got, again, on the phone, J.A. Jance, author of a bunch of books, but the one we're going to be talking about right now is your latest, Dance of the Bones. Now, first of all, is this a book that I can just pick this one up, or do I need to read others to kind of prepare for this?
This is book number 5 in the Walker family series. There are 5 books: Hour of the Hunter, Kiss of the Bees, Day of the Dead, Queen of the Night, and now Dance of the Bones. So when you walk in, you may feel like you're in a stranger in a strange land. And all I can say to that is, welcome aboard. Because when I went to the reservation as a teacher, as a K-12 librarian in the fall of 1968, I was a complete stranger, too. I knew nothing about a reservation. I knew nothing about Indian life. What I knew was what I had read in the history books. And you know what? History books are written by the winners. And so I went to the reservation, and those folks took me in. My friends, Melissa Wan, Rita Pablo, Loretta Ramon, and Pauline Hendricks, took me in and made me part of their circle. And they taught me the legend and lore of the Tohono O'odham people. And I left the reservation 5 years later, a much better person than I was when I arrived.
Nice.
And so when people come on board these books, I want you to pretend that you are newly arrived on the reservation. And if you'll just settle in, you'll learn the lessons I learned.
And the thing that's really cool about this particular book, Dance of the Bones, for folks who maybe have been reading some of your other books, there are characters, J.P. Beaumont and Brandon Walker, that have been in other books, and they're coming together in this book. What made you decide to put those guys together in this particular book?
My editor asked me. The idea of
I just love honesty. That's the best.
The idea of crossover books is to bring readers of one series to another series. And I've done that before with J.P. Beaumont and Joanna Brady. I've done it twice. And so when my editor asked me, I said, oh, sure, I can do that. And then I started writing the book, and it was really difficult to do. I've been writing about J.P. Beaumont since 1982 without realizing that when he was growing up in Seattle in the 40s, they evidently didn't have kindergarten because he has no idea how to play well with others. I'd be trying to write a Brandon Walker scene, and Beaumont would stomp on stage and try to take over, saying, I'll write my part first, me. And finally, the only way to get him to sit down and shut up was to do that. So I took the part of his story that had become a roadblock for me in Dance of the Bones and put it in a separate novella called Stand Down. The action in Stand Down takes place slightly before the action in Dance of the Bones. So those are my readers who are consecutive readers, and I have them, will want to read Stand Down before they read Dance of the Bones. Stand Down is available in ebook format. It's also available as a mass market paperback, but they'll probably need to ask their bookstore to order it in because most bookstores aren't just ordering it automatically.
All right, but they're going to be very happy to find Dance of the Bones. It's kind of all over the place, isn't it?
It is all over the place. It's in better bus depots everywhere.
Better bus depots.
Right.
I love it. So now you were talking about the difficulty between Beaumont and Walker and putting those guys together in Dance of the Bones. So do you think you'll have them together in future books, or do we have to ask the editor?
In this book, Beau is drawn into the story because a cold case that Brandon Walker's volunteer cold case squad, The Last Chance, is working on ends up being related to a cold case from Beau's stomping grounds in Seattle. And Beau is sort of at loose ends. The cold case unit he worked for years was shuttered in Stand Down. So he's kind of at loose ends right now. And the thing I've learned about cops over the years is being a homicide detective isn't a job. It's what you are. And when their jobs end, those guys can't just walk away. So now that Beau has tested the waters with The Last Chance, I kind of think he'll be back.
We'll be on the lookout for those, but let's talk right now about Dance of the Bones and where we can find it, because people are going to want to get out and get a copy of this. Where is the best place to go to get this?
Well, the best place to go would be your local bookstore, independent bookstore, if you were fortunate enough to have one of those, or also in Barnes & Noble or online at Amazon. You can also get it in ebook formats, audio formats, and downloadable on Audible.
Well, we're going to send them out to find it. Again, J.A.Jance has been our guest today. J.A., thank you so much for chatting with us here.
You're welcome. Thank you.
It's been a lot of fun. And again, the book is called Dance of the Bones. Get out and check it out. Buy it wherever you like to buy your books. And like I always say, if you can't find it there, ask them to order it. And if you can't order it there, you can certainly find it online. So you'll find it somewhere. Dance of the Bones by J.A. Jance. Thanks for joining us on the John and Heidi Show.
This portion of the program is brought to you by CarsForSale.com. If you're in the market to buy a car, truck, or van, find thousands of vehicles to choose from at CarsForSale.com.
Today is a very special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
Well, happy birthday to the Air Force. Today is Air Force birthday.
Very cool.
Yeah. Also, Chiropractic Founders Day. Imagine if you were a chiropractor that was in the Air Force. I mean, today's a big day.
Today's a big day for you.
Constitution and Pledge Across America Day. When I was a kid, we did the Pledge of Allegiance in school. Do they still do that?
Yes.
That's awesome. I used to love that.
At some schools. I mean, some states they do not. But
it's also Hug a Greeting Card Writer Day. Who wrote that one in? National Ceiling Fan Day. What? National Cheeseburger Day. Ooh, I'm celebrating that. National HIV, AIDS, and Aging Awareness Day. National Respect Day. National Water Monitoring Day. It is Clean Up the World Weekend starting this weekend, and National POW/MIA Recognition Day. And hats off to anybody that's been either of those.
Absolutely.
And it's finally National Tradesman's Day. So if you're a tradesman, today's your day. A lot of stuff today.
Yes.
It is a special day, Friday, the 18th day of September. So get out there and celebrate by having a cheeseburger with a chiropractor that was in the Air Force. That's my plan. I got to just find one of those.
This portion of the program is brought to you by StoneGroupArchitects.com. It's more than a building. It's design and function working together. Check out the project portfolio at StoneGroupArchitects.com.
Heidi, do you ever get headaches when you fly?
No.
Well, if you do, you're not the only one, but you don't, so listen to this. You didn't answer that properly.
I'm sorry.
Let's try that again.
Yes.
Heidi, do you ever get headaches when you fly?
Yes.
Well, let me tell you why. Israeli researchers said yesterday that flying in an airplane could be a real pain in the head. Literally. Headaches associated with air travel appear to be huge and painful problems. In a study of 906 men and women who had traveled more than once by airplane, about 6% reported that they experience headaches. Based on 3.3 billion seats available every year on commercial flights, with 70% occupancy of more than 100 million people suffering from flight-associated headaches is what we're looking at for a number there. Stress is part of it. Poor air quality, engine noise, barometric pressure, and the smell of jet fuel contribute to flight headaches.
And all that in-flight flatulence.
Yeah, from the study we talked about earlier. You got a headache? I didn't. A little sick. Can you tell this gastroenterologist guy in front of me to quit tooting? I mean, it's kind of disruptive. All right, coming up here, we've got a couple other fun things to look at. What are we going to be talking about? I got a new translation of the Bible for Australians. That's kind of funny. Also, we've got a lazy boy recliners story we're going to be talking about. And then what else do we have here? Oh, a guy that makes a living by letting people hit him. Like his job is you get up, you come up and punch me. You pay me first, and then I'm going to let you hit me.
Stress reliever.
And that's his job. I bet his mother's proud.
Will he wear a mask of the person you wish you were hitting so that it's a little more realistic?
Can you imagine if that was what your kid's doing? So what's Troy doing these days? Well, he lets people pay him to punch him on the street corner up here.
He's doing quite well.
He does well. Yeah, he's in a very stressful neighborhood, so he's raking it in. We're going to chat about all that. That's coming up. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Friday.
This portion of the program is brought to you by DirecTV, 1-800-259-7646. Also brought to you by RVWheelator.com. If you're buying an RV or selling an RV, check out RVWheelator.com and the Dollar Shave Club. Here's John and Heidi.
Thank you so much for joining us on a Friday. I've got some fun stuff to end the program with here. We're not quite done, but we've got this. It says, Australians are baffled by the King James Bible. They can now try a new translation by journalist Kel Richards. It's called the Aussie Bible. And it retells the biblical stories that people know, but using outback lingo. So they use the as if it happened, in Australia. It's even received the official blessing of the Anglican Church. In this, it says Jesus was visited by 3 wise guys instead of 3 wise men.
Oh my
3
gosh.
wise guys. His father Joseph is called just plain Joe, and the Good Samaritan is described as a really ordinary bloke you wouldn't look twice at.
Wow.
Happens that the man who happens on a man who was left good as dead by a bunch of bush wranglers. And he patches him up with his first aid kit and takes him onto a pub. So I think it would be really hard to read this without laughing, and I don't know if you're supposed to be laughing when you're reading the Bible. But they got this new version. It's called the Aussie Bible. Hey, speaking of different versions of the Bible, coming up Monday on the program, I'm going to be visiting with Jeff Altworth. He has written a new version of the Bible as well. His is called the Beer Bible, and it's not really based on the Bible. It's all about everything you ever wanted to know about beer. It's in this book. We'll be chatting with him coming up next week. Thanks for joining us on a Friday on the John and Heidi Show.
This portion of the program is brought to you by GunUp.com. If you're a gun lover, you'll be in heaven at GunUp.com. Built by experienced military veterans, shooting sports competitors, and publishing professionals. They have awesome stories and articles that are read by millions of gun enthusiasts. Check it out at GunUp.com.
Wouldn't it be great to test the comfort of a Lazy Boy recliner for a living?
Sure.
Well, Tim Nelson does that. He's a Lazy Boy recliner tester, and he says the job of sitting down and kicking his feet up and rocking back and forth in the company's chairs all day is a lot harder than one might think. He says it's not like they give us popcorn and a TV to watch. He says, it's up and down all day. It can be quite the workout. Actually, Tim's coworkers agree with him. Other testers say the job is one of the hardest that the Dayton, Tennessee plant has because testers must certify the comfort, and they have to balance up to 130 recliners every single day. So they build these recliners.
So it's not like they get to sit in one all day.
No,
They're
get to sit,
going to every
and they
single.
got to make sure that it's comfortable in every position, and then they put it. That one's done. Now I get to climb into this one and sit and do this and do this and do this.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And I don't know if I'm doing the actions as though that translates over the radio. Sorry for that. I'm kind of a moron today. But there you go. If you thought it'd be fun to just sit around in a recliner all day, and you think that's the job for you, you might want to think twice. Coming up, we're going to talk about a guy that gets paid for letting people hit him. That's on the way.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Dollar Shave Club. You can get razors sent to your door each month for just $1, plus a couple of bucks shipping. It's an amazing deal. Log on to dollarshaveclub.com/radio to learn more. That's dollarshaveclub.com/radio. Now, back to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
This doesn't sound like a job to me. This sounds like punishment. But there's a Japanese man that makes a pretty good living by letting people hit him. For the last 2 years, I'm going to hopefully get his name right, Akira Hiraya, probably got it way wrong, he's hired himself out as a human punching bag to pay his debts. He charges people to hit him. Wow. Akira, who worked as an electrician day by day, charges people about $9 to hit him. He estimates that he's been hit by over 8,000 people.
I would want way more than that.
Akira says he never hits back, even though he's suffered broken ribs and bruises. He's in debt for $13,000 and claims this is the only way to pay it off. He's like, I got to get this paid off somehow, so I'm going to charge people $9 to hit me.
I would charge more than that. If they're willing to pay $9, they'd be willing to pay $20.
Here are the things that I want to say about this. I wanted to share this story, and I wanted to make sure that we had an opportunity to chat about it. How did he come upon the amount $9?
Yeah.
You have change for a 10? I just think what a weird amount.
I'm assuming in their currency is probably equivalent to $9. So in their currency, I'm sure it's an even bill of some kind.
That could be. Because, it's in Japan. So, but I just thought that was such a weird thing. And if he owes $13,000, isn't that like 1,300? Over 1,300 people need to hit him. So far, he's gotten 8,000 of them. So he's
getting there. He'll have it all paid off.
Getting there. He's already there. He should be there and done. Or maybe that's how much he still owes. I don't know. I'm just thinking how weird this is, and I'm wondering how much I should charge to let people hit me. I was in boxing as a kid, and I could take a punch. I'm okay with that. I'm like, yeah. So, Heidi, maybe you can, you want to punch me later? How much would you pay me to hit me?
The problem is it all goes into our own account.
That's
so
okay.
Really we'd just be trading money to hit each other.
Just,
And
no,
I
I'm
think
not
that's
gonna hit
just
back.
called domestic violence.
You pay me, give me $20, I'll let you punch me in the gut. How's that sound? I got people that are calling in right now. No, you can't do it. I was talking to her. All right. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
This portion of the program is brought to you by DirecTV. Call 1-800-259-7646. They have hundreds of channels to choose from, with many packages to fit your viewing desires. Learn more at 1-800-259-7646.
And we always like to end this program on a positive note. So, yeah, first of all, no, you guys can't hit me. Everybody wants to hit me now, Heidi. Look what we've started. There's a dude over in Japan that you give him $9 and he'll let you hit him.
That's a bargain.
That is a pretty good deal. I want to go to Japan to hit the guy now. So I'm not a violent person. But let's talk about something positive, because this is really an interesting idea. An Egyptian billionaire has provided new details about his plan to buy an island to receive hundreds of thousands of refugees from Syria and other conflict-ridden nations. This guy's the CEO of Cairo-based media and technology company. He told CNN the first step of his plan is to resolve the refugee crisis. It requires getting the consent of Greece or Italy, from whom he plans to buy this island. And he says right now the refugees do not have visas, so there must still be a country somewhere willing to process their entry. And he's saying nobody wants to take all these people. They need to get out of these war-torn countries. And he's a billionaire from Egypt, and he said, you know what? I'm going to buy an island that they can go to.
I think that is the perfect plan.
It's such a cool thing. And when you think about it, this is not the first time something like this has happened. Think about if you live in America, how did we get here? We left a place where we were being religiously persecuted for the most part. You know, everybody came here on their own way, but my ancestors came here. They were being religiously persecuted in another country, and they said, hey, I'm leaving. We're going to go somewhere else. They came here. They set up this new place. This guy is saying, hey,
where
you know
the
what?
heck are we going to go when we have to leave here?
I don't know. Well, maybe to this guy's island. This Egyptian billionaire, again, he's a CEO of Cairo-based media and technology, a Cairo-based media and technology company. Okay, that's not the name of the company. I thought that was the company. But he's buying this island, and his plan is to have it as a place for refugees to go.
I think that is a wonderful
And here's the thing
plan.
that I like the most about it. It's not a government doing it. It's a private individual who said, you know what? I have the resources to help, and I would like to help. So now if the governments could all stay out of this and just let this guy do it, I think that would be a really nice thing. And I think it is such a kind thing for him to put his resources into helping others. What a great idea.
I will say that I understand the hesitation of the countries that are saying we just can't.
Oh, I understand that
because
too.
I just read a story just the other day of a refugee that had gotten into Britain and threw acid on the faces of two beautiful teenage girls, and just destroyed their lives forever. And they're in immense pain. And they were trying to help him. They were Christians, and they were out helping these people. And that's how they repaid them. So I can completely understand why the countries are all saying,
but you need to understand,
this isn't a good idea.
But
if we could get them all on one island,
and here's the
where
thing
they're
I'm
all
saying. What I'm saying is one or two bad people kind of spoil it for everybody, because most of these people are victims.
But that's the fear.
But I'm saying majority of these people are victims. And this guy is saying, you know what? I want to set up a place for these victims to go where they'll be safe. I think it's neat. There's a link on our Facebook page. You can learn more about it. Facebook.com/John and Heidi Show, and you can follow that link. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thanks for joining us on a Friday edition of the John and Heidi Show. Have a great weekend.
Time now for the bonus break. Only available here on the John and Heidi Show podcast.
And your bonus break is brought to you by the Dollar Shave Club. Oh, look what I got here, Heidi. I got some razors the other day, and I got my new bonus. I haven't even opened this one. I thought, you know what? I'm going to just bring it directly here, because you were giving me a bunch of guff last month, because the one that I was reading, you said, didn't you have that in the bathroom? And I was like, yeah, it's the bathroom minutes. And now you have it laying in here? I'm like, yeah, I guess I do. So if you would like to get your own bathroom minutes sent directly to you, you can sign up for this bathroom minutes. It's just $3 a month, and it comes with free razors. See how that works?
Yeah, nice.
No, actually, you buy the razors, $3 a month, delivered to your door, And you'll get about bathroom minutes every month as well, absolutely free. And they've got a lot of fun stuff in here. We're going to chat about some of those things next week, but I've got some great things to talk about over here right now. It says here, Judge, if you want to know more about a Dollar Shave Club, go to the website, dollarshaveclub.com/radio. All right. Judge Carrie H. Copeland married her. He wed Letitia Steer, who entered the United States in 1994 from Colombia on an expired tourist visa and never bothered to gain legal status to remain in the country. Now, it's up to his superiors to decide if he can keep his post. Apparently, when this judge met the woman, he proposed to her, found out she was the status, that she was illegal. So he reported that he tried to hide nothing. He reported as soon as he found out he was not in he was not in violation of anything. However, it might not be good enough to keep his judicial post. This judge might actually lose his thing. Immigration Lawyers Association officials say they want to review all of the circumstances before making a final decision, but they say, you fell in love and you married this woman, but you weren't supposed to do that because you're a judge. You're supposed to be above the law. She was illegal. She should have been sent home. She's legal now. She's married to him. So it'll be interesting to see where that all ends up. So what are your thoughts on that, Heidi?
My thoughts are, well, okay, first of all, always come here legally.
Yeah, I agree.
Always come here.
She did come here legally. Her visa expired and she just didn't leave.
Yeah. Well, that's
she didn't
not legal.
Stay here legally.
That is illegal.
I'm just saying. I want to make sure we preface
so that is that's my stance. If it was illegal, it was illegal, and he's a judge and he should know better.
There you go.
Yeah.
Heidi has spoken.
Well, it's true. It makes me really angry when people think they are above, when anyone thinks they're above the law.
I agree.
Anyone thinks that certain laws do not apply to you but apply to everybody else, and that's just not right.
Well, let's talk about something different here. Teenagers are prolific texters, but there's evidence that they're doing it in their sleep. It's called sleep texting. The phone will beep, they'll answer the text, and they'll even respond in words or maybe gibberish. But it's something that happens when they wake up. They don't even remember they did it. Teens should get 8 or 9 or 10 hours of sleep, but overplugged, overextended teens and young adults tend to get way less than that. So this interruption could be as good as a night's sleep. Just get some more sleep, because there's, it says here, an hour and a half to 2 hours into their sleep cycle, if they get a text, they're answering texts or the machines are beeping or whatever. The solution is technology-free bedrooms, or at the very least, putting the phone on the other side of the room or turning off the ringer.
I think that's what we're going to have our daughter start doing. Her phone will charge in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And then she can take it with her when she leaves for
now,
school.
It's one thing if you use that phone as a way to wake up, because like I do. My phone wakes me up. That's my alarm clock too. So, I need to have it. But I can tell you, I remember I had it across the room for a while. I liked that better, because then I had to get up and walk over there to turn it off. Now it's way too convenient.
I just know that there have been times I've walked into our daughter's room and she's wide awake, messing around on her phone. And
I'm like, hey, it's 3 a.m. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Just sending out some emails. Or not emails. What's she on? Facebook. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram.
Texting, yeah.
Sending stuff in the dark. What is wrong with you? All right, let's take a look at our last story here. Jared Caldwell and his 3 other Utah men were just trying to sleep at 3 a.m. when 2 men in ski masks bust in the doors. Jared's brother, Cooper, was sleeping on the couch. The men began yelling and telling them to get up and give them their money and their wallets and their cell phones. Jared was so shocked that nothing was going through his head as he handed over all of his belongings. The robbers left, but Jared and Cooper thought that maybe they recognized the voices as a friend who stayed with them a couple weeks before.
Wow.
So the boys came up with a plan. Jared figured that they had his phone, so they tried to call a couple of times. And when they didn't pick up, they sent him a text message. The text said, Randy, I really want my phone back. I'll pay you $300 for my phone right now. Took 20 minutes before Randy showed up and said, okay, let's do this. The plan was to meet and exchange at a nearby store. To everyone's surprise, the suspects showed up and hid behind a dumpster. When they came out to rob their victims of the $300, instead, they found the police were waiting.
Yeah.
So they weren't even going to give them the phones. They didn't have the phone. They were going to just take the other $300 from them. So the guy was such an idiot that, hey, Randy, come on, I need my phone. I'll give you $300 for it right now. And Randy fell for it. So it didn't sound like Randy's the smartest cat out there.
Well, no.
If he's out breaking into people's homes at 3 a.m., that's not a good thing. All right, that's going to do it for your bonus break. I cannot wait until we get our printer working. I've been trying to read for the last week. For those of you, if you think I sound like a moron lately, because I feel like I am. I feel like I'm reading off a teleprompter. Everything is on my screen, and I'm scrolling through while I'm reading. But when I scroll, I lose my place. That throws me off so bad. So I'm so excited that we're going to have a working printer soon. Get out there, have a great weekend, and thank you for listening to our bonus break brought to you by the Dollar Shave Club. Learn more at dollarshaveclub.com/radio.